Hi everyone, it's Rosie. As promised, I'm making Sunday gravy today. So I like to start mine with pork. That actually gives the tomatoes and the sauce a lot of flavor. So what I'm doing right now is I'm already searing the pork in the pan, and I'm getting ready to add some garlic. And some onion. And this will serve as the base for my sauce. Once this marries all together, then what I will do is I will actually transfer this into that pan, and then I will add all the tomatoes to it and let it start to simmer. Once I'm done with that, then I will add some parsley, some basil. I like to layer my seasoning so that you're not putting all the seasoning in at the same time. So step by step, I will go through this, and I will send a couple of videos. It's kind of going to be impossible to video the whole thing from start to finish. So for right now, actually the pork is getting ready. I'm going to let this fry for a little bit, saute, and then I will add that to the tomatoes. And then my next video will be coming back, and it will be starting the meatballs. See you in a little bit. Bye-bye. Oh my, if you could only smell my kitchen right now, it smells amazing. Right now I'm going to add the tomatoes, the tomato paste, and the tomato puree to the fried pork. Hi, I had to change my shirt. It's got so hot in this kitchen all of a sudden with the sun out today. We haven't seen that in a long time. So the tomatoes are in the pan with the pork. So now I'm going to add a handful of fresh basil and a handful of parsley. I chop it roughly. I don't like it chopped too fine because then it just dissipates in the sauce. So that's going to go into the sauce while it simmers. We're going to stir that up a little bit. Add a little salt and pepper because, like I said, I really like to layer mine. I don't like to season it all at the same time. So I'll put a little bit of pepper in there and a little bit of salt. And next, it's on to the meatballs. So for now, I have about 3 pounds of ground grass-fed beef. It's Angus beef. It has the most flavor. I actually switched last year. I don't use any ground meat other than grass-fed, and there really is such a difference. For your meatballs, you're going to need fresh garlic, fresh parsley. You're going to need fresh Romano cheese, eggs, salt and pepper, and you're also going to need to soak some bread. So with that, let's get started. Okay, last but not least, we're going to add some salt and pepper. Salt and some pepper. I like pepper. I'm a little heavy-handed. So as you can see, all of our ingredients are in there. We have the salt, the pepper, the cheese, the grated Romano cheese. We have the fresh parsley, we have the bread. And now I'm just gonna basically mix it all together, toss it. You don't wanna mix it you don't wanna pulverize it because or else it's gonna be, your meatballs are gonna be tough. So you wanna just kinda mix it all together just so that all the flavors get to marry each other. And with that, we will start to fry. My pan is actually heating up over here, and I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil to it so that it helps meatballs fry a little bit better, gets the edges a little crispier. So we're gonna start with that. And to roll your meatballs, I basically take about enough that fits in the palm of my hand, like that. Roll them up because they're going to shrink a little bit regardless. So it's better to make them just fry them a little bit bigger and let them shrink than to make them too big and then you can't finish one. And this is how you roll the meatball. Take it, put it in the palm of your hand, kind of get it all together, roll it around until it's nice and round and even and it's not broken apart. And then you just put it in your pan. Let it fry. The meatballs are getting ready to turn. Once they're turned, I am basically going to, normally what I would do is fry some sausage, but I don't have any Italian sausage, but I do have something else. I have some Brijol in the freezer. So I am going to add those actually to the sauce as well. And in lieu of the Italian sausage, I'm going to add a little bit of cracked fennel to give it that taste of the sausage, because most of your Italian sausages are made with fennel, and that is basically what seasons a lot of your sauce as well. So once these are turned, I'll show you the Brijols. Take a look at these meatballs. They look really good. They're nice and brown. I'll be done soon. As I said before, I had some Brijols in the freezer, so I'm going to add those to my sauce. I made these a few weeks ago. Actually, it's been about a month, and I actually had to hide them in my freezer because when my kids come over, that's the first thing they look to take home for leftovers is my Brijols. So these are a hot commodity in our house, so you have to keep them safe. So I'm going to add these to the sauce right now while I'm waiting for the meatballs to finish up. So once the meatballs are done frying and you have all those nice little bits that are in the bottom of the pan, what I like to do is drain the oil out of the pan into a nice can that I have sitting over here, just waiting for this oil. And basically what I do is I put the pan back on the stove and I add a little bit more of the onion to it. And I saute that in the pan. And once you saute that, what I'd like to do, it picks up all those little bits of the meatballs and whatever else you fried in the pan. So you saute that just for a little bit, just to sweat the onions a little bit. And then what I do is I actually take, so now that the onions are done sweating, what I like to do is I'm going to take my ladle and I'm going to take some of the sauce that is already cooking in the pan, and I'm going to put it in the pan for all those flavors to marry together. About 3 ladles is usually what I use. And we're just gonna let that simmer for a minute and pick up all those bits that are on the bottom of this pan. And once that's done, this goes into our big sauce, our big pot of sauce. And then it's time for it to simmer. And it's a labor of love. So if you're not patient, don't even try to make Sunday gravy because you'll be here all day. And that's something that you really have to love to do. So now the onions and the gravy are finished sauteing together and marrying themselves. So now I'm gonna put that inside the Sunday gravy, and this is gonna have to cook for probably another 2 to 3 hours. So with that, not everybody is gonna make their sauce the same as I do. You know, people come from all different areas of Italy. So, you know, what I do, my grandparents are from Naples, so we might make our sauce a little bit different than somebody else does. But this is the gist of it. And this is basically how I make the sauce at the restaurant. The only difference is at the restaurant, I don't have Brijols in the sauce, and I do not put pork, like at home I'll use like pork country ribs, but at the restaurant I use neck bones. We make such a huge amount at the restaurant that it would be too expensive to use the pork country ribs. So with that, now our gravy is gonna cook probably, like I said, about another 2 to 3 hours and it'll be done. So I hope you enjoyed this. I've enjoyed it immensely. And once I put all these little videos together, I will post it for everybody to see. And then I would love to know what everybody thinks. Talk to you soon, and thanks for watching. Bye.